Well, hey, what's happening, everybody? Well, today we're going to start getting some of the headliner installation done. Right now, we need to put new insulation in the roof because when the fire happened, it just burned it all up. So we got the front seat out laying on the ground. We threw some plastic down because we're going to have to spray some spray adhesive on the roof and on these pieces. But we've been plugging away. Tom, he got the dash painted. That's just a little bit of what it looks like, but yeah, there you go. Got that all done, got the vents back in. So now we're just going to start working on getting this headliner done. At least we want to get the insulation put in. I'm not sure if we're going to start doing the headliner today. I think we might get the insulation and just let it set up, and then I think we might move on to something else. I think we might try and wet sand where we did all this touch-up right in here, and wet sand that stuff down and give it a buff and just see how it's going to all come out. Try and get it all blended in. So, but what you got to do here is you got to just spray this with adhesive, and then you got to spray the roof with adhesive and let it set up, and then you just basically just put it up and let it dry, and then that's what insulates the top of the roof.
Yeah, this headliner's a kit. It's Legendary's upholstery. It's a complete kit. Insulation, headliners up there on the charger, and the seal panels. The seal panels are already made up.
Yeah, they got the boards and everything on them.
Everything made up.
Yeah, which is nice.
It's a nice kit. The headliner is already pre-cut and everything for your bows, so you don't have to slit it or anything. You just, on this particular car, you just slip your bows in, hang it up, and my headliner does not get glued on anywhere. It just up around the A-pillars, it'll get glued a little bit, and then the rest of it on the sides gets these clips that holds everything else up in there, plus the little the teeth that are inside the car that you snap, that grip into this is also there. So there's not a lot of glue into this one. It's mostly just hang and install once you get it in there. It's a really nice headliner.
Yeah, it looks real nice. It's heavier grade. Legendary makes some pretty good stuff. So, all right, well, we're going to get at it here, and we'll bring you back when we get something done. Oh yeah, you gotta clean the inside to get the glue all off before you put this stuff up.
Yeah, you want to scrape all this.
You want to try and get it as clean as you possibly can, because you don't want a bunch of loose stuff up there, because the problem is all that stuff will fall off.
You can see some of the old glue, but you got to scrape it down.
Yeah, so it'll stick.
So get it down pretty good and get all the heavy stuff off. It takes a little. Your prep work is where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah, keeping that stuff up there.
Because if you don't prep this right and glue it up right, it'll fall.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It'll just fall back down. And plus, my car, being that I caught it on fire, the headliner on fire, I had a lot of soot that I had to clean off in order to get this metal clean enough to put the insulation up. So I had a little bit more involved cleaning than probably most headliner installs, because this one caught fire, so there was a lot of smoke, soot, and everything on everything up here. So it took a couple hours to get this clean enough to where we could put this insulation in. But that's the biggest thing. You want to take your time and clean your areas good before you go to gluing stuff up, or if you don't, it'll fall down.
Yeah.
It'll come down on you. So just take your time.
Well, we got one bar left, Tom, so yeah, I got to throw this on the charger. Yeah, like usual, the camera's going down.
And make sure you make a drawing of where all your review mirrors, all your attachments,
it's going to shut down.
Well, you got to make that all up.
Yeah, we'll show them that then. All right, it shut off.
Charge. Damn it.
Well, hey, we're back. We got some stuff done. So we got all the insulation in the roof. That came out pretty good. All you do is just use a spray adhesive. We just use use what, 3M general trim adhesive, and that's what we use to put it in with. We just sprayed the roof and then we sprayed the insulation and just put it up and just stuck it up there. So it's pretty easy. It already comes pre-cut with the kit that you got from Legendary.
It's already pre-cut. You don't have to do anything.
Yep. So, what'd that kit cost you?
It was under $300 for the headliner, the cell panels, and the insulation.
So it come with everything then.
Yeah, that was all good.
So, if you guys order a kit from Legendary, that's what you get. It's all pre-cut and everything, ready to
I
roll.
like Legendary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, their interior parts are really nice. They're
the
just,
Mopars it is.
Yeah.
The Mopar,
that's pretty much the only choice.
yeah, they just come out with the Mopar line, and that's,
Yeah.
and I haven't had any fitment. Color's been great, match, perfect for this car. I never had any problem with Legendary. That's why I chose to get their headliner. And like I said, this stuff's already pre-cut, slit for your bows. You don't have to do any of that, measuring your bows before you cut the slits. These are already done. All you do is slip your bows in and hang it. And mine doesn't need a lot of gluing. Mine clips along the rail
Yeah,
here.
clips along the rail.
Clips along here. And then there's a big metal trim piece that goes there afterwards that covers up all the clips. Covers up all that mess. We probably have to trim the excess headliner material, but that's about it.
Yeah. We'll go into more detail on
Yeah,
that when
once
we
we
start
do that.
getting ready to put it in. We just wanted to get the insulation in today, because it's supposed to be freaking 100 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday, and then it's supposed to cool off again Thursday, so I think Thursday we might try and do it. So after we got the insulation in, we went ahead and we wet sanded our repairs here where we fixed the back and stuff. We wet sanded it in, buffed it out. So this is what it pretty much looks like. It came out pretty decent. I mean, there's some, you can see where there's dark spots where it doesn't match super well, but I think it looks pretty good compared to what I mean, we can't get a true color code on this car because we don't know what color it is because it's not F8 green. So we wet sanded all this, buffed it all in. So you could probably tell there's a difference in the metallic. I don't know if it shows up on camera or not. I have no idea, but I'll tell you what, it looks better than having pieces of paint and shit and primer.
Yeah.
So it came out pretty good. We're pretty happy with it considering what we had to work with. And considering neither of us know anything about blending paint. So, and this is actually the interior color for his interior parts, this paint. This actually was the closest he went down to the paint shop to get some stuff, and we took a piece down and she tried matching it. Well, we did a spray out and it was way too light. It wasn't even going to match at all.
Yeah.
So we did a spray out with the interior paint he had, and we sprayed it out and clear coated it, and this actually matches closer to this color of the car than that other stuff. So that's what we ended up using. So we just went ahead and just shot it with that, and then he got a spray can of 2K primer or 2K clear, and we just spray canned the clear on. So I mean, you can see, if you see it in person, if you look for it, you can see where we primered it and we tried blending it in as best as we could, but it didn't come out real well. But you can only do so much. The paint's not super great on the car anyway,
No,
so
it was never
super great to begin with.
whoever painted it sure did.
So basically what we did probably looks better than what they did. So then there's the front. We did the front too. We did everything. You can see kind of in here where there's a color difference. I don't know if it shows up on camera or not, but there is a color difference right in here. And then it blended real nice in here, but there's a real dark spot from where it got sprayed on at. The back didn't come out too bad, but the front seemed to get a real bad dark spot in it. So we wet sanded all this and buffed this all out. Tried to blend everything in. So. And then we got bored and we started playing with the roof a little bit. And we wet sanded this right in here So this is the area we did. If you look here, this is still got orange peel and stuff in it. I don't know if you guys can see it or not on camera here. And right here, it's where we buffed it. It's nice and smooth. So we still got a bunch of work to do on this roof yet. But it actually came out, it smoothed out real nice. Right in this area here is where we did it. It smoothed out real nice compared to over here where it's all still orange peel. So it looks like it's going to come out. It's just going to take a lot of work to do it. So, but this is a definite improvement. This looks great. So yeah, I showed it to him earlier. Yeah, Tom redid the dash on it. Now we can see it. We had plastic on it earlier, but he repainted the dash because the dash got burned a little bit when the car caught on fire. So we ended up trying to paint it, and when we painted it, it started to freaking fisheye and everything. And I'm thinking that they probably fisheyed because somebody sprayed Armor All or something on the damn paint or on the dash pad, and it just soaked into the paint. So Tom stripped this all down Saturday.
Yeah.
Tom stripped this all down Saturday. There was a hole here where he had a tachometer. He filled that hole in. We tapped it down with a body hammer. He filled the hole in, and then he painted it yesterday. And this is how it come out. Got new vents since they got melted when it caught fire.
Yeah, this one did.
Yeah, that one was all melted. But yeah, this came out real nice. It looks really good. So that's all done. So we don't have much more left. All we got to do is get this headliner in. Windows. And then we gotta finish buffing this freaking roof out. So, or wet sanding it. And we should probably go over the whole car and buff it and clean it and make it look decent. So that's what we got done today. So hopefully the next video will be us putting a headliner in, or starting to anyways.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to work on it for the next 2 days. It's supposed to be 96 tomorrow, and it's supposed to be 99 on Wednesday. So it's not going to be happening. I'm not going to be, I don't have air conditioning at work, and I'm not going to come home here and try and fight with that. It's going to be too damn hot. So we're just going to have to wait. So at least we got the buffing done.
Yeah.
Before it was 100 degrees, because we needed to get that done. This needed to get done, and I didn't want to wait too much longer to get it done. I wanted to get it done.
Cool stage,
yeah, because then we'll get involved in other things and we'll forget about it. We had a bunch of overspray all over the trunk lid and up top of the fenders here, so I just went over all this with 2000 grit, and we just went ahead and just compounded it all out. Took all the overspray off. Plus we went over all this stuff too, so probably hit it again. We still got to put polish on it. We didn't put polish. This is just number 83 McGuire's compound. So, but it's looking really good. So, all right.
And another thing.
What's that?
If you, with Legendaries, it's nice that they have an excellent tech support to help you put these on, these headliners in. They can, their tech guy that does headliners for the Mopars, he's real helpful explaining how we could actually put one of these in ourselves without having to have a professional. He said just take your time. And another thing is make sure we can get it out of the box, lay it out and let it get all the wrinkles out of it. So it's been laying out in my living room for months, so you want to make sure you lay one of these out and get all the wrinkles out of it, because it is wrinkled when you get it out of the box. But they do have a good tech support. If you run into issues, you just call them up and tell them what car you have and everything, and they'll help you out as far as putting the headliner in. He says for my car, it's not a real difficult thing to do. You just start at the front and work your way out and then go to the back. You don't go from the back to the front. He says you go from the front to the back. So hopefully we'll get it hung in there and it'll come out nice. I hope anyway. It's the first one I've ever hung.
Cool.
At least we ain't got to do a bunch of gluing.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Like the Charger,
Yeah.
Move everything in the Charger.
Yeah, Charger's different. It doesn't have sail panels. The headliner goes the whole way down into the sail panels. So, all right, that's going to be it for now. And we'll catch up with you later when we start the headliner. Hey, what's happening, everybody? We're the day after being at the Chrysler show, and I want to apologize again because I did not do any video at the Chrysler show. So, drove the old mighty Charger up. We were hanging out with people and stuff, and it just, unfortunately, we just got tied up. We were looking for parts, and when you look for parts up there, you don't really get a chance to walk around and look at cars because you're in the parts section. Because we were looking for some wheels for Tom's car, because he's going to make a change, but we're not going to tell you about that until we get everything we need and we put them on the car. So we were up there Friday. We hung out with Rich from Mopar Mission. Him and his son came up, and we hung out and bullshitted. And then Saturday we were there, and Bill and Marty from Useful Entertainment, they were there hanging out, and some other people. So unfortunately we just didn't get any video done. So today we are starting on this wonderful thing called the headliner. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on this. It's not very hot today. It's actually fairly cool, so we won't be dying inside the car. So we're gonna start on this, and we're gonna bring you along as we try to put a headliner in. So wish us luck, and hopefully this will come out fairly decent. So I guess we'll get started. What do we got to start with here first, Tom? Do we have to put the roof bows in, or what's the plan here?
We already put the insulation in, so we've got the bows set out. My bows are marked with tape. They have the numbers on them from where, because you got to put the bows in the right slits. Starting with the front, number one. I have 6 bows, so, and these bows are color coded. Mine are kind of missing from being burnt when I caught the car on fire, but there's color codes on the, there's a blue for number 3. So some of these have got colors on them. Your bows will have colors on the end of them, and that's where you put them back. Don't never mix these up. If you take them out, either mark them like I did with tape and put them back where they belong. As long as you do that, you shouldn't have any problem putting the headliner up in there. But because these bows they've got different bends and lengths, so you have to put them in the right area. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start slipping these bows in, and then we can go ahead and hang the headliner inside the car, and then we can start working out getting it even inside the car, and then start working out some wrinkles. And there's some hooks in the back of my car that I have to hook into the headliner.
These hooks, because I think it's Coronets that has this. I'm not sure if Chargers do.
Coronets,
but let me see if I can even get to it. Yeah, it's right there. There's the hooks right there.
And you have to, you kind of put them in kind of inbound, not straight, hook them in straight. You got to kind of hook them inbound a little bit. And then as you pull the sides out, the spring will pull straight. And then you start from the front, start pulling, working your way to the back on these cars. Because there's not much gluing on these cars except for around the A-pillar. That's where we'll do a little gluing. Everything else is put in with these clips. These little clips is what goes along the side of the car around your door area, and that's what holds. It's got these little teeth. It's got barbs on the inside that bite into the metal, and once you slip them up in there, that's what holds your headliner on the side. There's no gluing in the sides and in the back. It's all hooking them in with these on the side of the car.
Yeah, you hook them in like right on this side, right in here. You hook them into this channel right here, isn't it, Tom? Right in here is where those clips go. They go up like this.
Yeah, the clips go right in here.
Yep, they go right in here, and that's what holds them.
And then there's a metal trim piece that's laying on the back of the car that also holds that headliner up on the side. It's that long piece of trim that's laying back there.
Oh yeah, that's the piece we painted. And then back here is your teeth here where you tuck you gotta pull it around, and then you tuck it up into these teeth right in here. You do these last though.
On the back.
Yeah, you do the back last.
Start at the front.
You start at the front and then you work your way back.
To the sides, and then we work from the side all the way back.
Yep.
And just pulling and straightening and get as much wrinkles out.
So this is all pre-cut already. So all we do here is we're just going to slip the bows in, and then I guess we take it in the car and hook them in. And
they do have marks, little slit where you can, if you have to relieve, they have them. Legendaries already has them marked with these little notches that are along here, because some of this is going to get trimmed off. We may have to trim some of this out when we go to tuck it up in the, but other than that, it's pretty much not a whole lot of cutting and stuff, just the excess trim we'll have to cut off.
Yeah.
The excess. Not sure how the headliner will be cut yet on that when we get that pulled out. How we cut around there. We'll have to see how that wraps around there, and just take your time cutting it. Don't make big cuts, just tiny little cuts, increments, until you get it fitted around your A-pillars like you want.
Yeah, we don't plan on having this done today by any means.
No, we're not.
I mean, it might be in here and just hanging down, you know. We're going to take our time with this because we want to make sure we do it right.
Like I said, I put a piece of tape on mine to show the center.
Yeah, you've got...
I measured, when I had this laying out on the ground, I measured and I centered, put a piece of tape where the center of the...
You did that in the back too. Yeah, you did it on the back.
So we can get it close to the center as possible in the car. I figured that would help us knowing where the center of the back and front of the headliner is. So it should, once we get it in there and we see where the tape is, we can tell how much material we got hanging on each side and try to get the same amount of material on each side outside the car, and then we can work from there. Should be. Can't make it any easier now. I mean, at least Legendaries, they made it easier. You didn't have to slit your material.
Yeah, you didn't have to cut. Yeah, you didn't have to cut this. It's already pre-done. So basically, you just slip your bows in. So
yeah,
a lot of the other ones you were talking to people about, or talking to places about, they said that you'd have to cut all this.
Yeah, what you do is you take your bow. If you have one that you got to cut it in order to put your bows in, you got to lay your bows up here, and then you got to come in to where that curve is. You got to come in so much and then cut a slit. Just slit it right here on this, and then you can hang it in there. But this one, these are already pre-slit cut for these bows, so we don't have to do that. But yeah, if you do get a headliner that you have to do that, you have to put your bows in first, or lay them against right outside the, like number one. This is my number one up here. You lay it there, and then you come in and measure so much in off of that curve, and then slit it. You don't want to be too far in. You just want to increment cuts, and then you hang the thing in there, and then you may have to go in there and do it again in order to get your sides right. But we don't have to. I would have to lay this. You would lay this out completely flat on the ground. Lay your bow, each bow, one at a time down, and cut your slit in order to slip it in, and then you go from there. But ours is already pre-slitted, so we don't need to do that.
Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I guess we'll go ahead and we're going to start slipping the bows in.
Yeah, we put bows in.
And then
we'll hang it up in there.
We'll go ahead and when we get them in, we'll bring you back. Show you what's going on. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, well, we're back with you. So we run into a snag. Already?
My fault, but
well, we're
misunderstood legendaries.
We were putting the roof bows in. Now these are slit so that you could put your bows in. The problem is that they're not slit enough.
They're not measured. They're not correctly. They're not measured for your bows. You do have to pre-slit them, and we're going to show you how to. We just figured it out. We're going to show you how to lay your bows out, measure them, and slit your material to put your bows in. So you'll have them in there right, but you got to do this correctly. I misunderstood legendary. I thought it was already pre-slitted, but it's not. And when we slit the bows in, they didn't go all the way out like they should. So we got to pre-cut them and put the bows in. So we'll.
All right. Well, let's get started here. So remember where we had what 2 3/4.
Yeah, you want to lay your bow. This is the #1 bow. This is up. This is the front, and that's the rear of the car. So you lay your bow in. You want to measure in off the slit and get the bows equal amount on each side, which we got about 2 3/4 on both sides. And once you have, and then you just come and you slit it right off the end of the bow. With a pair of scissors, going to cut, slit the area. You just want to cut it right off the tip of right off the bow. My scissors will cut it. There it goes. Got my other scissors. I'm gonna cut it. Yeah, cut it. And then come on the other side and do the same thing. Right off the tip of where your bow lays. Just cut it. I'm gonna sharpen these things.
Yeah, really?
I use them at work.
No. There it goes.
There it is. All right. Then go ahead and take the bow. And with the curve of the bow up, just like that, you're going to go ahead and put it in your listings. There it is. Curves up. That's how you want it.
Yep, and then you got your end sticking out to hook into your clips inside the car.
Yeah, the slots, the pockets that are inside the car for these bows. That's what that'll. And then when we finish doing all the bows, put them in, you'll go along and cut this excess off the ends, because you'll no longer need that. So I was mistaken about how you could just put the bows in. You do have to go ahead and. So I'll get another one. I'll get another one and show you.
We're muddling through, guys.
but we caught ourselves before we got out of hand.
Yeah, before we went too crazy with it.
I thought it was.
We're looking at it and we're thinking, boy, this is awfully wrinkled.
Yeah.
This ain't working.
Wasn't working.
Oh.
This is number 2. Do the same thing. Lay it there, get your. You can kind of see if you're going to be. We're using a measuring tape. We're not professionals. We're going to get a.
This is 2.5. What's the other side? See what you got over there, Tom.
Quarter.
Got 2.25 now. What do you?
Just get it close, guys. Just get it close. There's 2.25.
Okay.
Razor blade, let it slip for that.
I'm gonna just use her.
Scissors are worn out.
All right. Let me dig in the.
We'll have to resharpen these blades. Double steel sharpen.
Don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. It's not that bad.
Alright.
It's only a headliner.
Yeah. Only a $300 headline.
Yeah.
So my scissors are dull, so I'm going to use a razor blade and put my slit in. It's dull.
They ain't working either.
It's dull. My scissors. Yeah, get 2 scissors.
Yeah. Had a pair out here in the garage and it broke. I guess I'll cut
This material's a little heavy, so must. And you come on the same side and just go right off the tip of your bow where it lays. And try to cut it with something decent.
Yeah, we're gonna go get some more.
Yeah, you got to get some more scissors. These things, mine are worn out.
Get this one cut and we'll get some others.
It will not cut that slit.
It got it. Somebody cut it.
Not enough to put the bow in. Oh, Tim's got a better pair. Look, again, take the bow, get your curve up, put it in the listening. Put this one in there. There it goes. It's a little light, but get down there with that curve up. I wish you got a hat like that. And cook.
Bada bing. There she be.
Sure it was. Somebody's looking up.
Twisting on you.
Go in there smoothly. And look this way. That's okay. That's how we got to do them. Just go along. And the very last one. The very last one's going to be a little bit different. At number 6. I have 6 bows. It depends on how many bows you got in yours. This one here.
Yeah, and then he rolled.
This one's going to be, you're going to go from behind the last, on mine is number 6, and the last bow, because it's got a different curve to it. You're going to lay it, you're going to center it up, and then you're going to pull the bow up, tip it down, and then you're going to cut the slit where the tip is, where it lands when you pull it up like that. You're going to cut it on this one. This number 5 is the same one, just like the rest of them. But this one here, you're going to get it centered, tip the bow up, and then rock it over like this, and then see, get where you're going to cut it to put this in. That's the only bow that's going to be a little different when you go to cut your listing. You're going to want to tip it up, rock it over, and then see where the end of the bow lands, and that's where you're going to cut it when you pull it up. And we'll probably show you, when we get to that one, we'll show you again.
Yeah.
So you understand what we have to do there.
Yeah. Right now I'm going to run in and get some scissors because we're going to get the rest of these in. So we'll bring you back when we're doing that last bow so we can show you how that's done. So, all right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. So we got all the bows in. Tom did something a little different here. He did the back bow like we did the first 5. Because the video we watched was for a charger, and the charger is a different, completely different type of deal.
Yeah, it's a bigger headliner.
It's a bigger headliner. Plus, they don't use sail panels. The actual headliner goes the whole way back to where your sail panels would be, like in this car.
Yeah.
So what we did is we did the same thing we did with the first 5 on this, and we just cut it.
We just laid with number 6 down, got it centered, measured, and make sure we had the equal amount on both sides. Slip the sail, and then we slip the bow in. And as you can tell, she's starting to take shape to the.
Yeah, it's starting to get that curved shape to the roof.
Now all we got to do is just trim your excess off on the ends. Go along and trim the excess off, and she's ready to hang inside the car. Start putting it in the car.
Yeah, so that's going to be our next step here. We're going to trim these down.
And don't trim them close to your stitching. You just want to take the excess off and get down there around your stitching. And you grab it. And cut the excess off. Like that. Just trim the excess off.
Look at that precision. You'd think we were upholsters.
You don't know how badly I'm shaking. You can't see all that.
They don't see you sitting there with the freaking scissors like this.
Yeah.
Going, oh, but it screw it up.
Exactly. Until you get it hanged.
Yeah, until we go to hang it and we find out, oh Christ.
Oh Christ, $300 is shot down.
Shot in the ass, and
So,
then we're going to be gluing pieces of cardboard to the fucking roof, painting in green. On the next episode of Test the Speed Shop, we show you the freaking redneck way of making a headliner. Go down to the old freaking Joann Fabrics and get some of that fucking vinyl and get the glue out.
and don't get too distraught about how much some of these are sticking out. It should be around a half. Some of them are a little. It's the arch in these bows that you see more out than others, but that's because of each one of these bows have their own arch. So you think you're supposed to have the same amount on all of them, but you won't. They're all going to have different amounts sticking out of them.
Yeah, plus this is
As
gonna.
long as it's the same amount.
Yeah.
The same amount is what you're striving for.
You sound like an expert. I'm sure somebody else will get on there and tell us we did this all wrong.
That's fine.
Yeah, we can take it.
We can take it. We just don't have the luxury of a professional coming into our house and doing this. We don't. There's not a lot of people that still do this kind of.
Yeah, there's.
All these old cars, you know. That's why we're not scared to do it ourselves.
Yeah, plus we're saving a couple $100 by doing it this way. Big time. All right, man. What's the next step? Jam it in the car.
Hang up the car.
Yeah, this is the next step.
Start
Working it out.
Mess out. Once we have it put up here, we got to get Dave's car back in there. Put things on it.
It ain't gonna rain. It'll be
You want to leave it out?
Yeah, we'll just leave it out there for now.
It ain't our car.
It's just a Charger. It's just a Charger.
It's not a really cool car, but
Not a cool car. It's not an awesome Firebird that's already sitting outside covered up. Getting wet. Now
we'll get this in the car and we'll hopefully it'll look pretty for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna get this in the car and we'll bring you back. We'll get a couple of these bows snapped in and we'll show you how that snaps in. So, back shortly. Well, hey, what's happening, everybody? It's a couple days later. People ended up stopping by, and we didn't get too much further with the headliner, but we did actually get it in the car, and we were going to get ready to show you a video of that, and then the freaking camera went dead. So basically we just got the bows in and we got it secured in the front, up front here, and then we just got the bows in, which isn't that big of a deal. Basically what you do is you just set them in place and then you just rotate the bows up and then just kind of lock them in place. They just kind of just sit in there, really. So we've been trying to, we have it clipped out here because we wanted to try and relax the headliner a little bit to get some of these wrinkles out of here. Just give it a little bit of, let it sit for a few days and let it relax. And it looks a little better than it did the other day.
Yeah, hasn't loosened up tight, still tight.
So now the next thing we need to do is we need to start working from the center out, and then we need to put these clips that go on the side here in.
Yep, and start all the way to the back.
Yep, and then the back is the very last part of it. So, but it's all pretty much in here, it's all hung up. We got some wrinkles back here to work out.
You're not going to get 100% of the wrinkles out. They will eventually smooth out. Some of them they'll, once we get, we work it out. But some of it we can use a heat gun a little bit.
Yeah, you can use a heat gun to try and get the wrinkles out of it a little bit.
The front is pretty much wrinkled for you. Still gonna have a little bit.
Yeah, you got a little bit in the front, but
just
it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. But we're still working with it, so. But that's about how that goes in. All it does is just kind of your bows just slip in, and then you just rotate them upwards, and they just kind of lock in place. They actually really don't even snap in, do they, Tom? They just kind of set in those little clips.
What's that?
The roof bows.
Yeah, they're like a triangle pocket.
Yeah, that they just sit in.
The bow's the tip of the bow goes down in the center of that pocket. It just kind of guides it down. It's kind of like a triangle, and it guides that bow down in the center. So when you pull you go to pull it, it centers it up. You see how it centers the bows up into the roof.
Yeah, it pulls them all forward when you lock
Plus
it in
the
the front.
tensioners in the back.
Yeah.
The spring, those 2 tensioners in the back there.
Yeah, there's 2 spring tensioners back here. I don't know if you guys can see them. Probably not.
There's one there.
Yeah, they can't really even see them. I'm not sure if I can even get it.
Yeah, there's 2 wire tensioners.
Yeah, that's wire tensioners there.
That have hooks on them, and they hook into the number 6 bow, and you have to put them inbound just a little bit, so when you go to pull the headliner out to the sides, it straightens out like it is now. When you go to pull it at the front, then this is what pulls against, and then it straightens all the bows out as you're pulling against that, as you're pulling to the front. That's why we have to start from the front and go to the back. Most of your B-body cars will probably have these. Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers are a different animal.
Coronets, they all have these spring tensioners that you're hooking to your number 6 bow. And then we just keep working to the back.
Well, that's about what we got up to date now. So.
And right now I'm installing the...
Yeah, he's putting in these, there's clips that go inside that,
These are the clips that you take out.
that's for your trim, isn't it?
It's for that metal piece of trim that goes across here that hides all this ugliness. Once you trim all this, I'm reinstalling them, and this metal piece trim that goes in here screws up in this, so I'm just reinstalling these. You have to remove them when you go to put your headliner in, because you gotta be able to put it in the barb. So I'm just reinstalling all these. I got 2 of them in. They just go back in there, and that's what holds the metal trim. Once we trim off the excess headliner up here, there's a metal piece that goes across here that hides all this front headliner stuff, I guess. So that's what I'm doing now, is just reinstalling them and getting them back in. Since the front's we've already got the front done, basically just cutting off the excess, and then we can work the sides out and go towards the back. Yeah, it's coming along slow. We haven't glued anything on the A-pillars. We're going to, I don't know if we get that. We'll probably leave them last after we do the sides.
Yeah, probably do them last, I guess. We'll see how everything lines up with it.
My piece of tape I put on here is dead.
Yeah, we got that pretty much centered right in the middle.
That's where I've marked on here where the center of the line was on the front and the back, and both of them lined up dead center. And once we got it hung up in there, we had the same amount of material on the sides, so we've got it in there real nice and centered. So we just working on here to get the rest of these clips in here.
Yeah, and then we'll start on pulling the sides and tugging on them.
And then start working these sides and putting those metal barbs. Did we show them the metal barbs already?
Yeah, you already showed them the U-clips. Yeah, it's like a U-clip, 6 per side you got to put on.
Yeah, there's 6 of these.
And that's what holds it to that channel.
Yep, that's what holds
And then the trim piece goes on that. Basically, it's what it
then
looks
there's a
like
metal
here.
trim that goes on there that covers up all that.
Yeah. Yeah, it covers up all that stuff too. So, all right, we're gonna get back to it, and we'll bring you back when we get a little bit more done again. Well, hey, what's happening, everybody? Back here with our headliner install. Of course, it's a few days later, and I don't even remember where we left off at. I think we did the sides, maybe. I know we explained how we put it in, and we got it that far in, but this is where we're at right now. We got all the sides put in. We still got to do our A-pillars here. So, and then we just got done putting the back in. this doesn't get glued in. I don't know. Different cars are going to be different ways, I guess. I'm only going to tell you, this is a pain. It really is. It's just time consuming trying to cut reliefs and do everything to try and get it in. So we got it all in the back here. We got it all in the little clippy things. Let me try to reach around here. We got that all in, and we got it all in on. We got it clipped in back here. So we're having a hard time getting it to bite the little teeth here to bite into it. So we just use clips for right now. So basically you just start and you just put it and work your way to the back to try and get it in. Now we had to take the clips off the side here to try and smooth some of the stuff out on the inside when we got the back in here, because we're just trying to smooth everything out as much as we can. I mean, we have wrinkles and stuff, but you can only pull so much. And if you pull too much, then you have wrinkles in other places. So we're not real sure. I mean, they told Tom that there was going to be some wrinkles in it. But it's not hateful. It's not too bad. I don't know if we hit it with the heat gun a little bit, what it's going to do, you know, just to try and get some of the wrinkles out of it. But it is looking pretty decent. And we did test fit our sail panels, and we put them in the back, and it seems to smooth out the corner. Now the corners in the back are just a pain trying to do it back there. So we had to relief cut all that. You got to put reliefs in the corners so that when you fold the headliner up in there, it'll fold up nice without bunching up. So plus his trim has clips on it too on the sides, so that's going to put even more clips pushing the sides up then also. So that's about where we're at right now. Just a lot of trimming and a lot of going slow, just trying to get it in there. How about it, Tom?
I'm gonna work out all the wrinkles that are trying to get some of the. Hopefully, some of these are gonna, over time, should go away. That's what I'm hearing from most people. But some of the larger ones, we're gonna maybe put a little heat to and see if we can get them to. Especially in this corner back here.
Yeah, back in the corners here is where it seems like it's a real pain. Just having a lot of trouble back in the corners right there.
It's curved in that corner.
Yeah.
The sail panel comes out to about right here or somewhere, and it takes all that out. But once we put the sail panel in, and then that rubber trim that goes around the back of the window there, that's laying on the back of the deck lid is going to.
That's going to lock some of it in too.
That'll lock in all that. Where all them clips are at, that's where that goes. So it's going to, and it's tight, so it goes in there and it'll lock in all that. Probably pull the material a little tighter when you go put it in, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Once that piece of other trim that goes across here goes
yeah.
in, we don't know what all that's going to do. But hopefully over time, some of this is going to go away. Hopefully it'll tight up or whatever the heat will do to it. We don't have a steam gun, so we can't sit here and steam it out.
Yeah, I don't know if you get one of those little steamers like they have at the upholstery shops, if that'll do any good or not. We really don't know. We're just kind of muddling through this.
It's not as. It looks as nice. It
looks
nice.
about as nice as we're going to get it.
It looks nice. It looks nice until we work some more.
Yeah. Well, once we get more stuff worked out, I mean, the front looks real good.
Yeah, the front.
The back is where we run into problems because it's just all the curves, the curve in the roof, and the curve in the C-pillar back there just kind of screws us up. But it's not hateful, but you know, all you can do is try. But I would definitely give yourself a couple days to do this. I mean, like, yeah. we started this on Sunday, and what is today? Thursday. And I mean, we've just been hitting it a little bit at a time. Tom was out here yesterday. I came home. I had some sort of stomach virus, and I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't. He did a little bit yesterday, and then today we came out and we got the got the back done here. We got that all done. So basically what we need to do next is we need to trim these sides pieces here, and we need to glue these pieces here for the A-pillar, and we need to trim up some more stuff, and I guess just start putting trim on, huh, Tom?
Yeah.
Because that's about it. I mean, it's about where we're at. So I mean, there's really, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not, it's just kind of a pain just trying to stretch stuff around and cut it and stuff to make it, you know, to get it to fit.
Yeah, the material is heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavier material.
It's a heavy vinyl.
So.
And mine being all burnt up didn't leave us anything to go by.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Where the clips go, how the back end was held in and stuff, and we didn't, because if we had some of that headliner left, would have took a bunch of pictures, which is what you probably want to do, is take a ton of pictures of your old headliner before you go yanking it down, and take as much pictures of how it's hung up in there, whether it's glued or clipped or whatever. Take a ton of pictures and before you go yanking it down, and see how what's all attaches your headliner up before you go taking it down. So you'll have a good, and make notes and references. We just didn't have that because I burned it all up, so all our references were gone up in smoke. So we're pretty much flying by the seat of our pants trying to put this back in there as nice as it. My headliner was not in great shape to begin with. It was the seat panels were all rotted out. They were falling apart back there. They weren't in the best of shape. The only thing that was pretty much holding them up there was the boards still attached to the back, and that was it. But you know, the fire took care of those the headliner was not all that great shape, but we would have had some good references if it hadn't have caught fire. We would have been able to have something to go by and figure out. But we're muddling through it, and we're taking our time, and we're going to do our best to make it as nice as it can be, and hopefully a little bit of heat and some time will get some more wrinkles out of it. It's not really that hatefully wrinkled. It's just heavy material, and it just doesn't, right now it's not wanting to lay out real nice. It needs a little, I guess we're going to have to kind of help it along and get it out. Once we get it all the excess trimmed off, we'll see what happens and see if we can get some more out of it. You know, we'll get it I think it's going to come out as nice as it can. You know, we don't have a steam gun to steam all the wrinkles out, but I don't know if you can with that material or not. That's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you can or not. Just like not being body guys are not upholstery guys either. This is our first rodeo with a headliner. I think this is my last rodeo with a headliner.
Yeah, it's definitely not for somebody that's a little squeamish. If you don't mind, if you got, you know, it helps to have a second pair of hands to help you along.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not for somebody to do by themselves. That's for sure. Especially this one. This thing is a little. The front started out great. Once we got towards the back, we knew we were going to run into some issues, but it's not been too awful bad.
No.
Once we just need to make some adjustments and see if we can get some more the heat, maybe, and see if we can get some more, get it smoother. It's not that bad.
Well, I hope this video be informational to some people.
Yeah.
Like I said, we tried to explain as much of it as we can. It's just tough when you're trying to put it in and film at the same time. Because there's, like I said, the one day we did one thing and we only did it, we put it in and we clipped it and then we left it for a couple days.
Yeah.
So that was Sunday, and we had it all clipped on the sides. So we just kind of just let it go. We just used these clips up here and we just clipped it on the side to try and just settle it out a little bit. So, But that's all we got for right now. So
We hope to.
hopefully we'll have a little bit more.
You know, we'll get the sail panels. If we get the sail panels in the back, we can put that trim around the back and button that back end up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's.
We'll have to
we can-
explain how to do that
then we can
too.
Put the trim the excess off the sides and put the metal trim. This is what goes in the back.
Yeah, that's the back
This
piece.
is the back piece.
And then
And these are the side pieces
yeah, and they
that
have
we painted. That they have
clips on them
too.
also.
They have barb clips, and you can move these, but we're going to have to. We'll just space them out to where they're going to go, where they're going to hook in at, in between the hooks that are already in there, and then this goes in the sides.
And that helps hold it.
And then
Clips
that's
in
it.
that helps clip in the headliner on the sides then.
Yeah.
And then this piece here just snaps up around, and you can see, like right in here, you can see where it just goes in on those pieces there.
But if you look at
And
the ends,
locks in.
if you look at the ends, they have a it's a piece that grips onto the material and pulls it, so it probably pulls the material in tighter
Yeah,
as you're going along, pushing it on.
So that's going to change
Which these
things
pieces
too.
here are usually hard to find when you lose them.
Yeah, they're usually a pain to put in.
On the most part, they're hard to find. Mine just happens to be in great shape.
Yeah, my Chevelle's the same way.
Yeah.
Just snaps in, but and again, I wasn't putting a headliner in that.
You have sail panels?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's sail panels in that. And they do the same thing as yours do. They flip right up inside there along with the headliner, and then that trim goes around it and holds it all in there. Firebird's the same way. So
In my old headliner, it wasn't as real smooth as this one. I mean, it had some, but again, mine was old and it was
yeah, it was falling apart.
hard,
and
so
it
I
was
don't know if
rotting
it just
away.
started getting loose, but it wasn't real flappy or anything. It wasn't hanging down in your face.
Yeah.
I don't know how smooth you get them out. I guess we'll find out with this new one how smooth it comes out over time. I guess I don't know. They say it takes a few after you get them in. It takes a week or so to get them where they start. I guess they draw up where you get the wrinkles starting to get better in them.
Well, what takes the factory guys an hour to do takes the regular people days to do. Isn't that how it always works? You can build a car in 8 hours, but God forbid you can put it together.
10 hours in there?
Probably got about 10 hours into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were pretty much out here all day on Sunday.
I think we got about 10 hours. A little over
Yeah,
10 hours in.
about 10.
Most professionals do it in about 4 to 8.
Yeah.
4 or 8, they say. But,
Yeah. Well, then people keep showing up and hanging out too, so that kind of interrupts us.
yeah.
So that's what happened, what, Sunday? That's what
Sunday.
happened the other day. So. All right. Well, that's it for now. We'll bring you back when we get a little bit more done. We'll probably work on it more either tomorrow or Saturday. Saturday we'll probably do a lot of work to it because we'll have a whole day to fart around with it.
Yeah, Saturday we should get,
And hopefully we can
get the sail panels in and
get the bulk of it done.
get the bulk of it done.
Yeah. We can get windows back in this thing.
Yeah.
So.
Out the windows.
All right. Until then.
You can set this glass out of here.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Back with you. Well, we got the headliner pretty much done. It's in, it's finished. That's pretty much what we got. It's our finished product. A little wrinkly. We're hoping that might come out once we get it out in the sun. How about it, Tom?
Yeah, I think once it's out in the sun, it'll shrink.
Yeah.
It should. So you're going to have slight wrinkles, so they say, but hopefully these will tighten up a little bit. And the front's done a whole lot more than the back.
Yeah, we had some trouble in the back.
From here to the buff where the light is, it's done pretty well.
Yeah, we had some trouble in the back because it was just hard to get it pulled around the corners and stuff like that. When we put the sail panels in, that really helped though. Getting the sail panels in.
Yeah, those were not so bad to put in.
Yeah.
They just went right in where they were supposed to go.
So, not too bad for two guys that aren't professionals, that's for sure. It's kind of, I don't know how good this is getting a picture of everything, but I'm trying anyways. But you got all this trim in and stuff, and
Yeah, side trims in.
yep, everything's in. So now we just gotta finish up the rest of it.
Yeah.
Then we run in.
This piece goes up here where those clips are.
Yeah, that goes
And then
up front.
Those metal clips, this will go up there like that. Once that, and then you put your
Yeah, your A-pillar trim in.
A-pillar trim and then the review mirror and the other two pieces to go in there.
So we'll see.
We probably got about, what, 16, 18 hours in this?
Yeah, putting it in.
We
We worked slow.
Yeah, it worked slow. It took us about we got about 18 hours in it. Just taking our time trying to get it in there.
Maybe if we had a steamer, we could probably get it straightened out, but we don't have one of those,
Yeah.
so.
We tried a heat gun, but it was, you
Yeah,
just got to be careful with the heat gun.
yeah, that wasn't working too well.
And it, I mean, it did pull. This is hopefully gonna, it's not real bad. I'm not disappointed. It came out nicer than what I thought it was going to come out. For something that I caught fire,
Yeah, yeah,
it came out nicer than I thought it would.
yeah. That's for sure.
I mean, all the trim, back trim went in nice. And that's a tight fitting trim on that back window area. In fact, that it pulls that.
Yeah, yeah, once that trim goes on there, that really pulls everything tight back there. That plastic trim that runs around the window, that really pulls in everything real tight once you get that put back in there.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing glued is the A-pillar. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing you
that's
glue.
caught in this whole mess.
Yeah, everything else is just clipped in.
It's all clips on the side
Yeah.
and those teeth in the back and sharp teeth. The sail panels are just, they're Velcroed. They don't
Yeah.
come with the metal. The original ones had little metal clips that snapped into a hole back there, 2 holes. These sail panels are just Velcroed. And once you put the package tray on in there, on where the material is, it'll make that whole back end real nice.
Oh, I didn't know you had the original tire sticker still.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I put my new outside rubbers in
Yeah, put the
rear windows.
put the channels in because they were junk on the old ones were in pieces, so these just clip in, so they're easy to do. So that's about it. We run into some trouble with the dash cover. We'll probably show you that in another video because he's got it in the trunk. But we'll show you what's going on with that.
Yeah, I haven't quite made up my mind what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do here. I gotta paint the dash because it got messed up in the fire. You know, got like soot or flax soot on it or something. So I gotta paint it whether I put that cap on it.
Well, I know Mark was asking, he wanted to see us putting that in, but I don't know, Mark.
We can get it out of the truck and show you what.
We'll show him on the next one.
Huh?
We'll show him on the next video
Alright.
because It just doesn't seem to fit quite as well as it did on the Firebird for some reason.
Yeah, it's got a bow in it.
Yeah, it has a bow and doesn't fit real snug and tight up against it like it did on the Firebird. You pushed it on and it fit up there real tight. And for some reason this one doesn't want to. And we trimmed it back some too, so it wasn't hitting anything, and it still doesn't seem like it wants to fit real well. So we're kind of deciding what we want to do, because it's just not, I don't know if we're going to have issues with it if we try to put it on, if we get it out in the heat. So, because I mean the dash doesn't look that bad, it just has that one little crack in it. I hate to put that dash cover on and then have all kinds of issues out in the sun with it, you know. Freaking warping up or doing stupid stuff.
If it laid like the one on the Firebird did.
Yeah, the one on the Firebird laid on there pretty nice.
It
just kind of pushed right on there. We didn't have too much issue with that.
Adjustment.
But
mine's a little, it's got the right
arc to it, but it's bowed out.
The dash has an arc to it.
Yeah.
But it bows out so much a little bit where it just doesn't fit tight like the one on the Firebird did.
No, not at all. But we'll show you in the next video. Like I said, he just closed it up in the trunk. So I think this is going to finish this part of the Coronet out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one then. All right, see ya.